Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Karen Hardy, and welcome to Flip This Risk podcast, where we interview high achievers about their relationship with risk taking and how it influences their leadership resiliency. You can find out more about us at flipthisriskpodcast.com. And today, my guest is Candace McCabe. She is a co-author of the new book, Flip This Risk for Enterprise Security, which is now on Amazon. If you haven't seen it, it looks just like this. Welcome, Candace, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And before we really get started, I did want to just say thank you again, Dr. Hardy, for the opportunity to participate in authoring this book. Being a book author has been honestly a lifelong dream of mine. I was an English major in college. I always figured I would write a book someday, and I just hadn't gotten it done. And you made the process easy and amazing and so rewarding. And so thank you again for giving me the opportunity. Totally loved this.
Well, I totally appreciate that. And, you know, I hope you don't take your success lightly, because a lot of people that started the program didn't necessarily finish. So everyone didn't cross the finish line. So that's the difference between those who wish things to happen and those that make things happen. And you're one of those people that makes things happen. So let me ask you, so when you heard that the book that you contributed to reached #1 on the Amazon hot new release list and number 71 on the top 100 lists in corporate governance, what was your reaction to that?
I was floored, honestly. I knew that what we had written, everybody had really poured passion into, and there were some amazing women that participated in the authoring of this book. So I knew it would have good content. The question in my head was, are people going to hear about this? How are we going to, grow this organically? And we didn't really need to. It was like immediately you're sending out notice going, hey, ladies, you're head number one. Wait, what? No.
Yeah, a little sharing goes a long way. And I think that's part of the process is, getting used to sharing our accomplishments with other people. Sometimes we shy away from that. We eliminate ourselves from the process, and we don't give ourselves a chance to shine. I think that's something a lot of us have to work on, because it may feel uncomfortable, or you're raised to believe you don't outshine people, or you don't put yourself out there. But in reality, as we've seen through our careers, if you don't speak up, if you don't pat your own self on the back, who's going to do it?
Absolutely. I think that's one of those things that as I mentor people, that's always one of the things that I say is there was a time where that lesson that a lot of us were taught, that if you work hard, that hard work will be noticed and recognized. There was a time when that was likely true, or it wouldn't have been stated by as many people as often as it was. But the reality is you have to tell people what you've done. You have to celebrate yourself each and every day in 1,000 different ways, and rewarding yourself and celebrating every success you have, whether it's small or large, is key to continuing to do good work.
Absolutely, totally agree with that. So you are one of 8 authors of the book, and I love what you said in your opening chapter. If you do not know what GRC is, do not feel bad. You are not alone. So tell us, what is the title of your book, right? And what is it all about?
So the chapter is about GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance. And honestly, that is an umbrella term that can mean so many different things in so many different organizations. But essentially, it's all of those functions that are responsible for risk management, risk mitigation, and doing it in a way where you're putting policies and procedures and processes in place to ensure that you're complying with law or with other policy, and trying to figure out that sweet spot where risk tolerance is okay, and you've evaluated it so that you're not, you're not exceeding things that could get you in trouble or cost you a lot of money or whatever those things are. And so in some organizations, GRC might include real estate functions, right? And in others that would never be considered. It might only be IT governance. So it's honestly all across the board. And so when I wrote that statement at the opening of the chapter, it was right after we had the first group call amongst the authors that I was on. And one of the women on that call said, so what is GRC? And
Right, the famous question.
right. And I kind of sniggered, and you said, well, we're going to find out. Candace is going to write that in the chapter. So I hope I did a great job of covering that, and saying, I mean, there are so many things that can be included in that umbrella.
But because you wrote that chapter, especially in your field, now people would have some context around what it means or what it could mean within the organization, and just have a conversation around it.
Right. And I mean, that was honestly, I felt like that was the directive that we all had in authoring the book, was to put it into terms that would make sense to anyone, and they could pick up the book, could pick up a chapter, take a look and say, okay, I get what this is. It's much more relatable. Because quite frankly, I have spent most of my career, and it's been a very long one.
And a stellar one.
But having people say, what is it you do again? So so it was actually really good to get a chance to just, say, look, this is how we talk, and this is how we think, and this is why we're here, and this is what we do in a GRC space.
That's
We're
excellent.
not just the no people.
Okay.
We are
Yes,
the and people.
There you go. There you go. So just to wrap it up, what things would you like for people to walk away with once they read your chapter? And what advice will you give people who's thinking about actually going through the writing program that you went through, but maybe on the fence?
As far as what I hope that people come away with after reading the chapter and reading the book, right, is a better understanding of what opportunities are available in the GRC space, what that can mean, and that we're not the no people, right? We are the yes and people. And for people that are already in GRC, I hope that they take that change of language away as well, because I think for a long time, and I was very guilty of it myself through a great part of my career, of saying, oh no, we can't do that. And now I really want to partner with everyone and say, yes, we can, and let's put some guardrails in place so that we can maximize the profit and minimize the risk, or whatever those variables are. And for someone who's thinking about participating in authoring one of these books, honestly, this was such an easy process. You and the process that you have, as long as it's followed, it's really straightforward. I loved that you helped us to focus on progress over perfection, and done is better than great, and just continually encouraging us to just get our thoughts down, and then we can go back and fix things in editing if that's what we need to do. So that, and I think that's true for anyone writing anything, right? Is just write it, get your rough draft done, and then you can always edit later. But I loved the process with the way that the edits were done and handed back with, these are things that could be done, and this is why they're being done. And so, I mean, it was just, honestly, it was super easy.
Well, again, congratulations to the group of authors for this successful book and for, dealing with the challenges, because you still had the work, you still have families, you still had responsibilities, but you still took on this project at the same time. That takes a lot of courage. And a lot of people just can't get over those limiting beliefs that they have and just eliminate themselves from the process. So it goes a long way. Now you're ready for the next big project or challenge that's before you. And again, congratulations. I thank Candace for being with us today. I'm Dr. Karen Hardy. Remember to pick up the book, Flip This Risk for Enterprise Security, is on Amazon. You will enjoy it. Thank you again for spending time with us. I'm Dr. Karen Hardy, and I'll catch you next time.